starting lineups. Starting for Stevenson, number 2, Tim Flanagan. Number 4, Doug Hines. Number 5, Ryan Tennell. Number 9, Corwin Truto. Number 7.
All right, and welcome everyone to this Division III men's volleyball competition between your SVU Knights and the Stevenson University Mustangs. I'm Mark Duffin, and I welcome you to the barn today on Valentine's Day. We have a great matchup coming at y'all today. SVU, of course, continuing their winning streak to start this season. They're ranked second nationally out of all men's Division III volleyball teams and playing very well, have not dropped a set in 9 games, 27-0, SVU on a tear. We're seeing their abilities and their power as this season gets underway. Stevenson University, not to be outmatched, they're in the top 25 in Division III men's volleyball, just missing out on the official top 20, but having a very good season in their own right. They're 4-2 to start, but their 2 losses have been to Juniata University, who the Knights know very well, are division rivals and ranked number 7 in the nation. So a very exciting matchup between 2 very good teams. SVU, of course, the favorite coming in, but you never know. It should be an exciting matchup between 2 really, really good teams. All right, and we'll be getting your starting lineups here for the Knights.
Starting for the Knights, number 1 from Sao Paulo, Brazil, Cristo Bianchi.
So starting for the Knights, number 1, Cristo Bianchi, the outside hitter from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And then number 4, Garrick Tolman, the sophomore from Gilbert, Arizona. Then we'll have number 9, Samuel Candlin, the senior from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Then number 10, we've got good old Jimbo, Jeremy Brown, senior from Mesa, Arizona. Then number 11, of course, you know, Christian Schaefer, senior from Palmyra, Pennsylvania. Christian Schaefer, probably one of, if not the best player in Division III men's volleyball, having himself a very good season. And then to finish it off, you have number 18, Kyler Evans from Gilbert, Arizona. And of course, the Knights are coached by head coach Tom Peterson, assisted by Cheryl Peterson, Gabe Wagner, and Russell Tompkins and Jeff Tomlinson for the Knights. So as we were just talking about, Christian Schaefer, of course, the driving force of this Knights team. He's first in points per set in the entirety of Division III men's volleyball, 3rd in hitting percentage, 8th in kills, 11th in blocks, and 3rd in aces. All of those are in the nation. So Christian Schaefer, an absolute dominant force of a player, and he does it in all aspects of the game. He does it offensively. He gets those kills. He's hitting above 50%. He's at 52.7%. which is just a ludicrous percentage. He's 11th in blocks, so he's a great defensive player up front as well. 3rd in aces, will hurt you with the serving. Overall, it creates a beast of a player who is 1st in points. He averages 5.92 points per set for this SVU Knights squad. Now, of course, don't forget his running mate, Samuel Candlin, who's 6th in hitting percentage at 47%. This Knights team can attack you from many different ways. Don't forget number 18, Kyler Evans, who really took over the 2nd and 3rd sets the last time the Knights were in the barn. And that was against Lancaster Bible College. Christian Schaefer not having his best game back last home game, but anyone stepping up and taking over. It can be anyone at any given time. Last time it was Kyler Evans. It can be Jeremy Brown. It can be whoever. If someone's not stepping up, someone else will, and that's what makes this Knights team so effective. The interesting thing is that Christian Schaefer is not in the top 50 in attacks per set. Not a single Knight is. So they're doing this dominant run as a team effort. Christian Schaefer, of course, the standout, but everyone chipping in, playing extremely well, and giving the Knights the best opportunity to win. You look at Stevenson University on the other side. You've got Ryan Thinnell, number 5, out there for the Mustangs, who's 46th in points in the nation, averages 4 per set. So not to be outdone, he's a very good player in his own right. They'll be the two best players out there on the floor. We'll see that battle between Schaefer and Thinnell progress as the game goes on. All right, and we're looking to start this first set. Looks like it'll be number 2, Tim Flanagan, the senior from Chester, New Jersey, back to serve for the Mustangs. And the serve is away, set up for Knights. Great block there from Stevenson, but it'll be a free ball for the Knights. Right there, that'll be a point for SVU, just off the hands of the Mustangs. That'll be for number 1, Cristo Biancan from Sao Paulo, Brazil, starting the scoring off for the Knights, and that'll send Christian Schaefer back to serve. All right, and we'd like to welcome in my friend Chris Fly on the broadcast. Ready to tag team this one now.
Yeah, Mark, exciting game today. Two well-matched teams, and looks like both teams ready to get started. As Brown goes up, tries to put one down. That one goes to the net. First point of the day for Stevenson.
And the interesting thing about the Knights is that they do tend to start slow in games. So their slow is maintaining a 2-3 point lead until they blast off at the end of the first set and crush it for 10. So we'll see if the Knights can get started, get out of the mud a little bit quicker. And the service error right there from the Mustangs will sure help. We'll see if the Knights can get going quickly here.
A couple Southern Virginia Knights making their way into the game. Looks like Evans is going to check in and stay in. Served by Southern Virginia Knight, Cristo Biancan. That one goes into the net. Tied up 2-2 here in the first set. Mark, this is a Southern Virginia team we've mentioned, number 1 team in the nation. Pretty hot start to the season so far for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 27-0 on their sets. Haven't lost one yet, which has led to 9 straight wins over some pretty dang good teams as well. I mean, you look at their schedule, and they had Lancaster Bible College, who was really good. You had Loras College, who was really good. Even beat Liberty University as in a scrimmage to start the year. So SVU playing very well. I think they're ranked number 2 right now over some NYU having a harder schedule or something. I don't know.
Well, NYU, one of those teams that you expect to be in the top of the conversation every year. NYU was the team that ended Southern Virginia's hopes last season in the first round of the NCAA tournament. They lost that one. The Knights did 3-2, one of the only 2 sets they lost last year.
Yeah, and that's frustrating. You know the Knights are wanting to avenge that, and they have a chip on their shoulder, especially being ranked number 2 right now, that they have that chip on the shoulder to be number 1 and to take back their championship.
That one's up and down. Southern Virginia regains their lead 4-3. Back to serve now the veteran number 10, Jeremy Jimbo Brown, senior from Mesa, Arizona. As that one just gets away off the hand of the senior, ties things up 4-4 again.
And I remember the last time the Knights were in the barn, this was a problem they had as well, with the service errors really starting to get in their way and not being able to get into their offensive sets at all. We'll see if the Knights are able to take back over with that, but three service errors for the Mustangs as well, so it's not like the Knights are lagging behind in that department right now.
Teams exchanging errors. That last one came off the hand of Mustangs number 8. That's Jackson Bones, freshman from Fairport, New York. Looks like Bones will be out now for head coach Jason Gardner. Head coach Gardner, in their second season at the helm of the Stevenson Mustangs men's volleyball program, was a graduate of Stevenson way back in 2019.
Dang, that is awesome. I imagine myself being a professor of SVU in that way.
Southern Virginia picks up an ace on that one, now 6-4. Back to serve, Southern Virginia number 17, Isaac Carrillo. That's another service ace for the Southern Virginia Knights. And one of many on the year for Southern Virginia sophomore Isaac Carrillo.
Yeah, he's been contributing to a Knights effort in serving that has done very well. The Knights currently sitting at 4th in the nation in aces per set. So the Knights making the serving part of their game extra effective and lethal.
Hard serve dealt with there by the Mustangs. Now we'll get to see what Stevenson can do on the offensive side. That's a big hit up and down. Number 2, Tim Flanagan. Flanagan, senior outside hitter from Chester, New Jersey.
He's a big weapon for this Mustang team. He's 3rd on the team in kills per set, averages 3 per set, which is a really, really good average as a secondary scorer.
That one goes into the net. Again, just a litany of service errors between both these teams now. As a new Mustang checks into the game, that's number 4. That's Doug Hines. Where's that number 4 senior from Columbia, Maryland? SVU start things off with number 4, Garrick Tolman with the serve. Point will go to the Mustangs. Mark, this is the Mustangs team, 15-12 overall on the season, 5-3 in conference play. How about that? Able to get it back over for the Southern Virginia Knights. Justin Madsen keeping it alive. Better dig on the other side. Jacob Sleds gets the dig for the Mustangs. Tolman. Christo Biancan puts Southern Virginia up 9-6. Mark, going back to the Stevenson Mustangs. 5-3 in the conference so far.
Yeah, I know Stevenson is having a very good start to the season. I think for this season they're starting out 4-2 with just their first 2 losses coming to Juniata University. So their 2 losses coming against a very good opponent and looking to start off this year better than they were last year.
Mustangs 1-1 at home, 2-1 away. That's another service ace, that time by Christian Schaefer. We're talking about the Southern Virginia team having such a good year. How about number 11, Christian Schaefer?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about him to start off the broadcast. We've talked about how he's the force in the team right there, getting a service ace. He averages 1%, which is 3rd in the nation. He does extremely well there, and just he makes any bad situation the Knights end up getting in, he bails them out. He's just that talented to where he can. If he serves, he'll get you a run, get you momentum. If he's on the defensive end, he'll get you a block. Offensively, you set him up, it's going in. It's going in for a kill. So Christian Schaefer, absolutely, probably the best player in Division III men's volleyball. Is that? I don't think that's too controversial.
I think there's an argument to make.
Playing very well this year. It's been awesome to see.
Well, for those of us joining us that haven't watched Southern Virginia men's volleyball before, we just mentioned number 11, Christian Schaefer, for the Knights. Player to watch for the Knights side, absolutely for the Mustangs to keep an eye on. How about on the other side? Who do the Knights need to look out for on the Stevenson Mustang squad?
The 2 that mainly need to be looked out for are number 5, Ryan Thinnell, and number 2, Tim Flanagan. Those are the 2 main scorers here for this Mustang squad, and they are very effective. Ryan Thinnell, we talked about, he's 46th in points in the nation, so he averages 3.97 per set. Very effective scorer, and we already talked about Flanagan, how he's a great secondary scorer for this team. Those 2 make a devastating pair.
A player to launch on the other side, Schaefer with a big serve. Bigger put down on the other side. Ryan Fennell. We just talked about him.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned his name, and he delivers. That was an important kill right there. If Christian Schaefer has a weakness in terms of playing volleyball, it is digging. It is definitely not his forte. So right there, going on the attack to target Schaefer, Fennell really checking the scouting report right there.
Southern Virginia puts another one down, that time off the hands of Southern Virginia number 9, Sam Candlin. Now back to serve Cristo Biancan, senior from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Biancan's serve is playable by the Mustangs. Southern Virginia able to take advantage. Jimbo Brown.
And that's the scary thing about this Knights team. You don't know where the attack is coming from. It could come from Kyler Evans. It could come from Jimbo. It could come from Christian Schaefer, Samuel Candlin. You don't know. They're all on the floor, and you have no clue where it's going. It's a very scary group they have out there.
Swiss Army knife of options at the disposal of Southern Virginia longtime head coach Tom Peterson in his 9th season at the helm of the program as the Mustangs put that one down, cut this lead to 5, 8-13. Back to serve is Ryan Fennell.
And that'll be Stevenson's 5th service error just here in the opening set. Definitely, these two teams have been evenly matched offensively, both hitting about the same hitting percentage, but those service errors versus the service aces that we just saw for the Knights making up the bulk of the difference in this score today.
Well, that is Southern Virginia's 5th service ace of the day. We've yet to see a service ace on the side of the Mustangs. See what Candlin has in store for the second one. But another one for Sam Candlin with a little bit of help from the barn.
Yeah, and I think you taught me this last home game for the Knights that come the playoffs for the Knights, they have to play at a different arena because of how low that ceiling is. Obviously, it can hurt the Knights too, but they get to practice with it.
How about 3 in a row for Sam Candlin? Hat trick for Candlin puts the Knights up now 17-8.
And that's right there is what makes this Knights team so devastating. They can beat you by slogging out a game where it's back and forth. You have long rallies. They play defense, block, attack, or they could just take over with their serving, get a 10-point lead on one of the best teams in the country, just by 4 in a row from Sam Candlin.
Well, Candlin putting it up and almost away here in this first set. 18-8 is the score. And it has forced head coach Jason Gardner to call a timeout, trying to ice the senior from Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and it's necessary. The interesting thing, when looking at these two teams, whenever they face off, they faced off 6 times. This is their 7th meeting. Each of the last 5 times they've met, whichever team won the first set end up taking the first 3 sets, winning it, sweeping the match. SU's taking the last 2. Before then, Stevenson took the 2 before that. But it's whoever wins that first set takes the next 2. So it's very important and critical here in this matchup against the Knights, especially this Knights team specifically this year, to not let any ground get behind.
Well, Mark, I'm looking at it right now. It appears both teams 3 wins for SVU, 3 wins on the side of Stevenson's. It's split right down the middle right now. So bragging rights are in store for the winner of this game today as Southern Virginia goes into the first set with an 18-8 lead off the hands of that man to the right side of your screen, Sam Candlin, senior from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, 4 straight service aces. His last 4 attempts, couldn't get 5 in a row. Let's see what the Mustangs can do with it. Playable by the Knights, Schaefer, Tolman, Candlin, a little bit too heavy off the hand of the senior. Point goes to the Mustangs.
And you can't win them all. Candlin right there just getting off balance on the set and having to just try and give it full force, maybe get to the other side and end up going too much right there.
Now back to service number 18, Anthony Pizzino. Schaefer with a dig. Brown with a kill.
Do you think Schaefer heard me when I said he might have one weakness in his game, which might be digging? Right there, a beautiful dig from Christian Schaefer to turn that from an easy Mustang point to a Knights positive.
And now we'll get to see Southern Virginia's number 10, Jimbo Brown, senior from Mesa, Arizona, back to serve. Tough to handle, just got it over. Canlin to Tolman to Schaefer.
Christian Schaefer. Point 9. Jimbo back to serve.
I believe that's Christian Schaefer's first kill here in the opening set. Just amazing that you don't even need him to get multiple kills to be up by 11 to start the game.
Right now, the Mustangs having a hard time dealing with every aspect and angle of the night attack. Mustangs having a hard time corralling the serves and having a harder time stopping the outside hitters of the Southern Virginia Knights as Schaefer puts down kill number 2 for himself today. Brown. Just have to get it over that. They do. Canlin, Tolman. Back over again. Too far out of the way of. I was just about to say too far of the heads of Schaefer. Well, that one somehow managed to fall out.
And right there, sometimes the Knights get lucky, and they just need to make sure that when they're not getting lucky, they're still getting points.
Service error from the senior, Brown. Puts a point up for the Mustangs. Still a 22-10 lead for the Southern Virginia Knights.
Right there, one thing that looks promising for this Knights team, a little bit of improvement. They got out of the mud, like we were talking about, real quick in this first set. Didn't let it stay close for long.
Bones' serve met by a litany of Knights. Canlin. And that's a good block by the Knights. Schaefer and Evans combined for the block.
Who else? Those two, I mean, they're very tall individuals, but they are the front leaders of this SVU front.
Well, very tall might just be the understatement of the day. Southern Virginia's number 18, Kyler Evans. He's listed at just an average 6'8".
Oh, yeah, that's tiny. Wow.
He's listed as 6'8", but then you see some of the other players on the Southern Virginia Knights team, he still stands heads and shoulders above them too. Tolman looked to play fast, just too far away. Southern Virginia remains at 23. Mustangs advance to 11.
Love to hear it. Kyler Evans coming off, yelling at Tolman. But like not yelling isn't what are you doing, but yelling just the teammates that are having fun, playing volleyball together, wanting to make each other better.
Some playful ribbing between Evans and the sophomore Tolman. As Southern Virginia now prepares for set point in set number 1. And back to serve is Southern Virginia senior Maxim Sutton. See what Sutton has in store. Playable by the Mustangs. See what they do with it here. Block is there, just got over. It'll fall out. So Southern Virginia takes set number 1, 25-11. And if this game remains as what we've seen between Stevenson and the Knights before, you said the winner of the first set always wins the game?
The last 5 meetings, yes.
So that'll play well into the hands of the Southern Virginia Knights for the Stevenson Mustangs and for head coach Jason Gardner. Got off to a good start there. Southern Virginia was right there with the Mustangs, and all of a sudden, with Sam Canlin of the service aces, it seemed to be the difference in that Southern Virginia first set.
Yeah, absolutely. The secondary difference, though, was also SVU's defense. They were a little bit shaky there to start, allowing a very high percentage to Stevenson, but you saw them tighten up and really put the vice grip on the Stevenson offense. Around the 8-point mark, where the teams were still fairly close, Stevenson had a hitting percentage of over 40%. To end the set, Stevenson's now down to 20%. So a very large gap between those two numbers caused by the SVU defense really tightening up and really forcing the issue for Stevenson.
Well, it's about 2 minutes to the start of the next set, so what we'll do here, we'll take a quick break. We'll bring you back at the top of the second. Southern Virginia leads over top of the Stevenson Mustangs 1-0. We'll meet you at the second. Stay tuned.
Let's get ready for set number 2.
All right, we welcome you back to our coverage of Southern Virginia men's volleyball. Southern Virginia taking on the Mustangs of Stevenson University. Right now, Southern Virginia up to a 1-0 lead after taking set number 1 in dominating fashion. Chris Lai alongside Mark Duffin here to bring you all the action today. Mark, an exciting first set for Southern Virginia, really taking that one with no problem.
Yeah, and it was through every facet of the game. The offense stepped up when it was called on, but it was mainly the defense and the serving that really took that one by storm. Samuel Canlin with 4 straight service aces at one point during that first set to take that one for SVU.
Well, that one just came off the hand of a Knight, so will fall. First point of set 2 belongs to the Mustangs, and it'll belong to number 18, Anthony Pizzino, sophomore from Syracuse, New York. See the Knights on offense. Brown. Bianca able to keep it in. Tolman back to Brown. Tolman this time looks for Canlin. See what the Mustangs can do. First offensive chance for Stevenson. Tolman. Schaefer.
And you got to love what this Knights team is able to do. They're able to keep the ball alive long enough so that way they can spread it around. Jimbo Brown got 2 attempts right there. Canlin got an attempt right there. But ultimately, if something's not working, they can just fall back on that old, reliable Christian Schaefer to finish off the possession.
Biancan serve, playable by the Mustangs. And that's a good hit. That's Tim Flanagan. Flanagan, we mentioned his name early in the first set, but then as things went on and Southern Virginia dominated, we started to hear less and less of a lot of Mustangs, but mainly Tim Flanagan.
Yeah, and when doing defense in volleyball, you take out the second options first. You got to try and make one person try to beat you. So for the Knights, their job is let Ryan Thinnell beat you, and if he does, that's crazy. That is very unlikely. So Tim Flanagan, taking him out of the game is the first priority of this Knights defense.
Well, the senior Jimbo Brown just racing that one past the outstretched arms of freshman Lance Simon. Simon makes his way to the Mustang bench. Adam Sawyers checks in for him. Sawyers wearing that number 17, Themmel. Big block inside. Several Knights there. Looks like they'll chalk it up to Brown and Evans. Canlin. Another service ace for Sam Canlin.
That'll be the ninth service ace just here in the opening of the second set.
And how many of those belong to Sam Cameron?
5 of them.
So Sam Cameron follows up a service ace with a service error of his own. Southern Virginia still leads 4-3 here in the top of the second set. Back to serve now is the man in question, Ryan Fennell, for the Mustangs. Fennell. Service error on his part as well.
And that's been a thorn in the Mustang side for these 2 sets. That is their 6th service error, which is not where you want to be against this Knights team. You got to limit your errors as much as possible.
Just able to get it over. How about that? Not just a setter, Gehrig Tolman.
See, normally when you see Tolman get involved in the offense, it's by faking the set to push it over to an unsuspecting defense. But right there, just taking it himself, just spiking it home.
Looks like he was almost angry with the ball. 6-4, Southern Virginia leads. Back to serve, Anthony Pizzino. How about that time? Tolman to Evans. That is a combination we saw a lot in Southern Virginia's last home matchup.
Yeah, I mean, in the last matchup, Christian Schaefer wasn't his usual self, which means he was still pretty dang good. And Canlin wasn't having himself the best game. So those two combined, Tolman and Evans, to really start carrying the SVU offense, especially towards the latter end of the second set. It was really awesome to see the diversity of this Knights offense.
Carrillo serve, playable. Mustangs, too far away from them. We talked about Kyler Evans' performance last game. Let's show everybody the numbers back at home. 7 kills on 7 attempts, batting 1,000 last game.
And that is something that even Christian Schaefer and Sam Canlin don't do very often. He took his opportunities whenever they came and made the most of them.
Carrillo's serve. Thought it had a chance to be saved. We've got to give kudos to Mustangs' Ryan Fennell, as that ball was headed straight for the fan section, but he decided to take out the only chair not with a person in it.
That takes skill, for sure. I mean, if you've ever seen any games with diving, whether that be volleyball, basketball, whatever it may be, those fans are the first to get hurt.
A dangerous spot to sit, one of the best seats in the house. Southern Virginia up 10-4 over Town of the Knights here in Buena Vista.
We get the benefit of a nice little barricade in front of us, at least we can duck behind.
Mark, I've been doing this a while. Don't let that make you feel safe. Serve Carrillo. Here come the Mustangs. That counts as a block. It'll go for Gehrig Tolman.
Tolman starting to do it all. He's had a couple assists here in this set. He has a kill for himself, and right there, a great block. Tolman really starting to see why he's one of the future players of this team. A lot of seniors on this team, but he's a sophomore and ready to really set himself apart to be a leader in this team going forward.
He's a sophomore that's already garnered the respect of his senior counterparts. He's on that starting lineup as the setter on that squad. Letting it know why he's done it just there. Timeout taken by head coach Jason Gardner. He obviously wants to figure something out. This playing out very similar to what we saw there in that first set. Mustangs come out and get the first point. Close to Southern Virginia. Now Southern Virginia up 11-4.
Yeah, and it's been off a huge run just in this last little bit. So the last time the Mustangs got a point was on that service error from the senior Brown, but since then it's been 5 straight points for SVU, and it's been a lot in blocks. Only 1 kill in that time with Kyler Evans, so a great time defensively for these Knights to take the lead here in the second set.
Both teams make their way back out.
We like Ike. Ike still serving.
No new faces in for the Knights. It's Tolman, Schaefer, Bianchen, Canlin, Jimbo Brown, and back to serve the sophomore Isaac Carrillo. Point will go to the Mustangs, as we will see Southern Virginia's number 6, Justin Madsen, check into the game, senior from Las Vegas, Nevada.
We haven't had the chance to mention his name very much. Team's been rolling with a much taller, lankier lineup to go against Stevenson, but coming in, hopefully he can make a big impact.
Well, Madsen's always had a big impact, especially on his time here in Buena Vista. One of only 2 Southern Virginia Knights to win the CVC Libero of the Year award. Was able to take that honor home with him last year, proving himself to be not only one of the best liberos in the conference, but one of the best in the nation at what he does. Biancan puts that one down. Only other Knight to win Libero of the Year was Daniel Aina back in 2018. That one just goes out. Point goes to the Knights, and Southern Virginia steams ahead to a 14-5 lead.
And the Knights just really building on the momentum, not letting anything slip away. One thing that we've seen from the Knights is that they usually tend to pull away towards the end or the middle of sets. And that leads to them, right now they're winning, they're 27-0 in sets. And each of those sets, they're winning by an average of 10.2 points over 27 sets. So right now we're seeing the Knights live up to that, the reputation they've built for themselves here in the opening going of the season.
Service error, another one for the Mustangs. And it's hard to say that service errors have been a problem for both these teams today, especially when we take a look at SVU, who has 9, almost 10 service aces today.
Yeah, no, I mean, the discrepancy between the two is quite large. SVU with 11 service aces to only 7 errors, whereas Stevenson has 7 errors to 0 aces. So that's made a huge difference, and that's the 8th service error, right? They just got the 8th service error, which is allowing Schaefer to serve right now.
Schaefer serve. That one goes off the chest of Anthony Pizzito.
All right, and if our stats are catching up, I believe that is service ace number 13. And we're not even done with the second set. That is a tremendous amount of service aces. No other way to describe it. This is the best we've seen SVU all year in terms of the serving department.
Southern Virginia dominance really starting to take shape here in the second set as they lead Stevenson 17-6. That forced head coach Jason Gardner to take another timeout for his squad. As mentioned, Jason Gardner in his second season at the helm of the Stevenson Mustangs program. A graduate from Stevenson back in 2019, also played on this men's volleyball program. And if you want to feel old, Mark, Stevenson played Southern Virginia here in Buena Vista back in 2019, where one of the outside hitters for that Mustangs program was their head coach today, Jason Gardner.
I mean, that doesn't make me feel old, but I don't know what that says about you.
Well, I was there to call that game, so we'll leave that where it is. Both teams make their way back out. Southern Virginia leads 17-6. No new faces in for SVU. Schaefer, Tolman, Madsen, Biancan, Canlin, and Brown. Back to serve is Schaefer. Fennel in for the Mustangs. He's joined by number 9, Corwin Trouto. That one goes into the net. Service error for the Knights. Now back to serve is Tim Flanagan. And Jason Gardner's squad. Flanagan, Doug Hines, Jacob Sleds in at libero. Good dig from Madsen Biancan.
watching that was incredible. I thought for sure that set was long and that was going to be a point Mustangs, but the communication between those two teammates and Bianca being ready for that and just pushing it home, that was incredible.
And sometimes it just happens so fast. Don't have time to call it, let alone see it. When it happens right in front of you, back to serve. Southern Virginia number 2, new face of the game, Jaden Hall, senior from Queen Creek, Arizona. Hall, that one into the net. It looks like Hall will make his way back to head coach Tom Peterson. Southern Virginia coaching staff, of course, head coach Tom Peterson in his 9th season at the program. Joined by Cheryl Peterson, Gabe Wagner, volunteer assistant coaches Russell Tompkins and Jeff Tomlinson. Simon serve. Lance Simon, freshman for this squad. Evans.
Big Country, Evans.
Well, Kyler Evans put that one right into the chest of the freshman Lance Simon. And if you couldn't see it from watching the broadcast, Kyler Evans immediately was trying to check on the freshman Simon.
You got to love that. You got to love the sportsmanship there. That's one of the things I love about the Knights, just sports programs in general, is that if they're doing well, they're not doing well, they tend to stay pretty sportsmanlike, and that is key when building a good culture for sports programs here at SVU.
No one can deny the culture of head coach Tom Peterson, one of the best here on campus. Back to serve now is Fennell, senior from West Milford, New Jersey. Fennell, play over the night, Schaefer with a dig, Tolman to Evans.
He's an unstoppable force. Big Country. Jimbo back to serve.
Well, if those at home could hear that, Southern Virginia PA announcer, who just happens to be the women's soccer coach, Rob Dahl, dubbing Evans his new nickname. There's a couple of them that he said there. The unstoppable force, and one of my favorites, Big Country.
Big Country. I don't think there's a. I kind of prefer Big Country, honestly. I think I like that one better, personally.
So the Memphis Grizzlies might have to call and say something about that. Canlon with a dig. Madsen to Brown. Forced the Mustangs to play with him. Pizzino. At that point, we'll go to the Knights. 23-9 now.
And you can see the Mustangs, they're starting to get a little discombobulated. Their attacks were powerful, but being defended by the Knights, and now they're just going straight into the net, not allowing them to play at all.
Ace! Jimbo!
Ace goes down for Jimbo Brown. Now it's 23-9, Southern Virginia leading. Tom Peterson having a word with his senior, Sam Canlon. Brown. They'll say that one hit the ceiling on its way over.
Here we are, set point.
For any Mustangs fans joining us here for the first time, when playing in the barn, the ceiling is so low. When that ball hits the ceiling as it goes over, it will be a point to the team who did not hit the ball into the ceiling. Southern Virginia. Tolman thought he had that one. Southern Virginia will remain at 24, Mustangs 10. Pizzino back to serve.
That's one of the interesting things about volleyball. I don't think I've seen a sport more where you think you get a point and it doesn't quite work that way because it's a game of inches like that.
Pizzino serves. See what the Knights can do here to close out set 2. Kyler Evans thought he had it. Flanagan. Flanagan is met by Evans for the block, and Southern Virginia takes set number 2, 25-10.
I mean, it was just more of the same from the first set, just defensively really shutting down Stevenson. I mean, if we look at the second set, Stevenson with a negative 7% hitting percentage against the Knights. So a devastating offensive performance followed up by just great defense from the Knights. That's really what led the Knights to the win in the second set right there.
Well, we'll do what we did there in the first set. We'll take a break here between sets number 2 and what may be the third and final set here in Buena Vista. Southern Virginia up 2-0 after 2 dominating performances in set 1 and 2. We'll bring you back to the start of set number 3. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to set number 3. It won't be the third and final set here today. Always hate to interrupt Justin Beaver on that one. But now, guys, I want to introduce you to the third member of our crew, Cece Band. Cece, good to have you on the broadcast today.
Yeah, I'm super glad to be here. This is an awesome place to be.
Cece, we had just a minute to talk there during the break. This is your sophomore year here at Southern Virginia?
Yes, that's correct.
Set number 3.
Yes, it's my third semester here, and I'm so glad to be here.
Doug Hines.
Southern Virginia with a 2-0 set lead over top of the Stevenson Mustangs. And Cece, you've been with us through the entire game so far. Just kind of give us your synopsis of what you've seen from sets number 1 and 2.
Well, the Knights, they've been going at Stevenson for sure. And Stevenson, they've also been coming with force. It's been taking a minute for them to catch on, but they're getting at the Knights. They're putting effort forth, and one of the things that is definitely that I've noticed for sure is the service and the serves. That's something that the Knights are definitely taking advantage of.
Well, just take a look at those numbers now. Service errors are pretty evenly split. Southern Virginia with 9, Stevenson with 8. It's service aces where the numbers really start to delineate between those two. Southern Virginia with 15. The Mustangs yet to get a service ace today.
Definitely. I think that's where they're definitely capitalizing on that.
Back to serve now is Doug Hines. Hines, senior from Columbia, Maryland, formerly playing at Oakland Mills High School. And Stevenson up to a 2-0 lead here in set number 3. Schaefer. I will say that Mustang went into the net. Point goes to the Knights. So this set starting very much like we saw there in the second set. Stevenson getting off to an early lead, 2-1 to Southern Virginia. And those last two were able to claw their way back and win in dominating fashion.
Yes, definitely. I think sometimes it just takes a minute to warm up after each set, but I have no less confidence in the Knights in this one.
Well, Cece, you know something about that. if correct me if I'm wrong, but you play golf here at Southern Virginia, right?
Yes, I do.
Is it a similar mindset, kind of get into a slow start, eventually find your groove about midway?
No, for sure. I think that's definitely how it is with golf, and I think with every sport, sometimes it takes you a minute to get into your, like you said, to get into your groove. But once you find that, you got to just go forth doing what you can do and taking advantage of the moments that fall to you, definitely.
Fantastic insight. Mustangs lead 3-2. Back to serve now for Southern Virginia. Senior Christo Biankin. Now that was a hard one by Biankin to play for the Mustangs. And that is service ace number 16 for the Southern Virginia Knights.
I think that's definitely something that I've noticed in volleyball is the strength and the ability and the talent that these players have with these serves. So the fact that they're able to receive it and honestly to be able to play with it is definitely something that I'm grateful I don't have to receive.
Big block inside by Kyler Evans. I think I can agree with you there. I don't want to be on the other side of Kyler Evans either. Back to serve is Biankin. 4-3, Southern Virginia leading. Thought maybe for a second that Doug Hines got a hand to it, but another ace for SVU.
That's something that Stevenson has actually they've been getting a bunch of digs, so is SVU. But like you just said, it was definitely an opportunity right there to save that.
Tough playable Hines. Looked a little bit too far. Hines was looking on that other side for Tanner Laukoff. Couldn't find Laukoff. Instead, found Sam Kalin on the night. Southern Virginia leads 6-3. Biancan serve, Hines. Look for Fennell. Quick work, Tolman to Evans. Off for a second, Tolman is going to look over top of the senior and find Jimbo Brown. Evans wanted that one all for himself. 7-3, and CC, while we have just a little bit of a minute, Southern Virginia still 9-0 this season. Let's take a look at their upcoming schedule after this game today.
Yes, so on the 21st, we have them playing Trin University. That'll be very, actually they're playing in a tournament, which will be very exciting. They'll be playing Trin University and on February 21st, and on the 22nd, they will also be playing Randolph-Macon. All of these teams being very well-played volleyball games. And then Eastern Mennonite University also on the 22nd.
So that'll be a part of a tournament taking place in Harrisonburg, Virginia, on the campus of Eastern Mennonite University. So it's technically away, but not too far. Only an hour here from Buena Vista is Harrisonburg. And of course, it'll be Trin, then Randolph-Macon, then rounding out, they'll play the host, the Royals of EMU. February 22nd, Saturday, the game is slated for 6 o'clock p.m. Service error for Sam Canlin. We've seen a couple of those today, but he's well made up for it. For several service aces on the day as well. Mustangs are down by 3, 5-8. Back to serve, number 5, Ryan Fennell. Fennell serve, that one goes straight into the net. Back to serve now for the Knights, number 10, Jimbo Brown, and we're going to welcome back Mark Duffin to the broadcast.
All right, thank you so much, Chris and Cece. That was awesome. All right, well, the Knights right there with another service error. Those are starting to pile up a little bit.
Yep, they definitely are, and that's also another service error for the Mustangs.
Yeah, that'll certainly be the biggest story of this game when it's all said and done, is that between the service errors and the service aces of the Knights, that'll be the biggest reason why the Knights are walking out with the win, if they do.
For sure, and even with these two teams combined, we're at 24 service errors, which is a large number for these teams.
All right, and here's the serve. That'll be another service error. These teams just going back and forth here, trying to make this third set as long as possible. But it's all in good fun. We're all working together here, making it work.
For sure.
All right, and we'll have number 11, Adam DeRubertis, the sophomore from Frankfort, Illinois, back to serve for the Mustangs. That'll be over. That'll be playable by the Knights. That'll be number 1, Biancan, senior, for the kill for the Knights. I believe that is the first kill in a while for these Knights, for any team on that front. Let's see, the last kill was all the way back at 3-7. That was Garrick Tolman for that one.
That was a minute ago. Most of these points, like we've said, they've been coming from these service errors. So we're excited to see them kind of move the ball around a little bit and definitely get it going over the net.
Absolutely. We got Tolman here back to serve, sophomore from Gilbert, Arizona. And that'll be playable for the Mustangs. Blocked right there for the Knights, able to set it up. The offense, Schaefer will get blocked, but that'll go out of bounds on the block. Point to the Knights. So right there, we're building some momentum. 2 straight points coming off good rallies. Knights the better of both of them, though, and Tolman will still be back to serve.
It's always a great thing to see when we get the ball, when we get it going, when we have these volleys going. Gets the excitement, definitely gets that energy going. Gets the crowd and everybody ready.
Absolutely. You can almost feel like the edge in the barn whenever that happens. Like, even though the Knights are up 2 sets to 0 and they're up in this set currently, you can just feel the arena kind of get on the edge of their seats.
No, for sure. It builds the excitement when they get it going between each other. It's like, okay, what's going to happen?
That'll be a free ball for the Knights. A great serve from Biancan again. That right there, Canlin's attack stuffed. Great defensive stand right there from the Mustangs. All right, and you'll have number 4, Doug Hines, back to serve. That'll just get over the net. Knights will be able to set it up. Canlin's attack. That'll be Doug. Mustangs now on the attack. Good block right there. Mustangs just have to put it over. Knights with a free ball. There's Schaefer, a little tip. That is blocked. Great play right there. I believe that's number 2, Tim Flanagan, with the block right there. Great play. Mustangs starting to build some momentum off 2 great defensive plays.
Definitely getting the ball going between the two.
That'll be 2 straight blocks from Tim Flanagan as well. Trying to put his team on his back. He is the best player on this Mustangs team, looking to keep his team in it.
There were some good blocks going there between Cristo and also Sam, but that was a close moment right there that they almost had it.
Yeah, Ryan Fennell really showing why he's important to this team. Cutting the lead down to 3. Knights really looking for any momentum here to finish off this 3rd set.
Christian Schaefer going at it.
So that'll be point to the Mustangs. Right here we're seeing the Mustangs defense really start to take over, not allowing the Knights to get anything going. Canlin with some powerful attacks, but nothing getting through, which is allowing the Mustangs to build this momentum.
Exactly. Once those arms go up and they're blocking those shots, the ball's going to come right back at the Knights, and they got to be ready to accept that ball.
Absolutely. Mustangs there, though, a killer of momentum. Service errors. Gives the ball right back to the Knights and extend the lead to 3. Schaefer to serve.
Beautiful serve.
And that'll be another service ace for Christian Schaefer. That is now his 5th service ace of the day, tying him with Canlin, who also has 5. So Schaefer again to serve. And that'll be 2 straight service aces. Christian Schaefer, such an intelligent player right there, getting the service aces in any different way. That was by brute force the first time, and then the second time, really nice, well-placed, short little serve.
Exactly. He's taking advantage of those spots where he knows where he can hit it, and he's going to hit it there.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Cece. We'll welcome Chris Fly back to the broadcast booth. Thank you so much for joining us on your first broadcast. That was awesome. Great job.
Of course.
Well, Mark, I'm glad to be back. And Cece did fantastic. First time on the mic here at Southern Virginia. We're looking forward to have her back for several games, especially as we get more into basketball tournament time as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember my first game calling, and I was not that good at all. I was a scared little freshman. I was teeny. I was like 4 inches shorter, too.
All those many moons ago. What was it, last year?
2 years ago.
All right, that counts.
I went to Idaho for a year.
16-11, Southern Virginia leading over top of the Mustangs of Stevenson University. We'll see SVU make their way back onto the court. Faces in for head coach Jason Gardner and the Mustangs, one of which being number 23, Ben Grove, one of those freshmen for this Mustangs squad. 6'1", 200 pounds from Warrington, Pennsylvania. Where's that number 23? Schaefer. Good dig on the other side. JD Sarmusknis. Sarmuckness now. Play it over for Themmel. Here come the Knights. Tolman found Jimbo Brown. A question mark on there on whether or not the Mustangs be able to play it back. Brown answered there. 17-11 now.
And Brown definitely having one of his better days this year. He's now up to 4 kills. on the day.
Schaefer. Soft serve for Schaefer. Hines. That is just a big hit from Ryan Fennell. Fennell hit it this way. Jimbo Brown tried to save it, and in doing so, made his way all the way to the scoreboard.
I'm not sure which hit was bigger, Fennell's hit on the ball or Brown's hit on the table.
See what Brown does now. That one falls out off the hands of Fennell. So a little bit of revenge from the senior from Arizona. Biancan back to serve. Evans comes out for the Knights. In for the Knights, new face for today, number 21, Jason Wang, freshman from Virginia Beach, Virginia. And we've seen Wang in a couple times or matches here in Buena Vista, and he's not disappointed.
No, absolutely not. As of right now, he is in the top 50 in the nation in blocks per set. So, I mean, that just goes to show we haven't talked about Jason Wang all game, and he's one of the best blockers in the nation. That just goes to show how deep this Knights team is, but also how important each role is that sometimes Kyler Evans will have an off game and not be able to block. Jason Wang comes in, takes over the front for him. So this Knights team really well-rounded, and Jason Wang is the proof of that.
Biancan back to serve. Jason Wang again from Virginia Beach, Virginia. One of only two Virginians on this Southern Virginia squad, another being number 13, Brady Schlensker. Mixter inside. Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and Virginia Beach, Virginia. Jason Wang and Sam Canlin power it down. Southern Virginia lead by 8, 20-12.
And that just goes to show the mentality of this Knights team. Wang not really getting much playing time today. Immediately coming in, getting a half a block up on the board, and getting a point for the Knights.
Biancan. Playable. Good dig on the other side. Brown. Tolman. Canlin.
And the Knights, they came into this third set a little rusty. Both teams trading service errors a lot, but the Knights finally finding their groove, looking to put this third set away, just 4 points away from doing it.
And this is the third and what looks like could be the final set of today. Southern Virginia, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, they haven't dropped a set all year.
Nope, they are now 29 straight with the 2 sets won today and 4 points away from their 30th straight set victory if they keep it up.
Tolman was able to save it. Biancan tried to use the feet to get that one back up.
Yeah, and I would have loved to see that. That would have been the type of things that we talk about, like in the playoff time. We're like, remember that time where Biancan tried to save it with his feet? That was amazing. But fortunately, falls out for a point there. Probably won't be remembered again.
So a 13-21 lead for the Southern Virginia Knights. Jason Wang, big hit, and it confused every Mustang. Kevin Kachukas on that other side alongside Tanner Laukoff. Couldn't decide who wanted to hit it. There's a new face in for head coach Jason Gardner and the Stevenson Mustangs. That's number 7, R.C. Gateau. Sam Canlin continuing his role of dominance from behind the service line.
Yeah, he doesn't want Christian Schaefer to beat him in the ace department. That ties them both up at 6 per right there for both Canlin and Schaefer.
Let's the people at home not forget, Sam Canlin picked up 4 of his 6 in the first set alone. Gatto trying to put that one over. Tolman able to get over top of Madsen. Hines looks on the other side for Laukoff. Point goes to the Mustangs.
And the interesting thing here that I haven't seen much in my previous volleyball games is we're seeing both teams utilize those blocks, not being over-aggressive and hitting the ball back up, but letting it fall out of bounds. I haven't seen that much, but it's happened multiple times today for both teams.
Well, Jason Wang puts the Knights one step closer to winning this game in 3 straight sets. Virginian swapping places. Jason Wang out, Brady Schlensker in. Back to serve, number 2, Jayden Hall, the senior, with a chance to end it. That one goes into the net. Second service error of the day for Jayton Hall.
Fans on your feet, match points.
But it still remains match point for the Southern Virginia Knights, and now a whole lot of pressure has fallen on the shoulders of Tanner Laukoff. He's back to serve now. Laukoff's serve is in, playable by the Knights. Tolman, Schlensker. Southern Virginia takes it. Schlensker put one down. Technicality against the Mustangs, but nevertheless, Southern Virginia wins in 3 straight sets yet again.
Yeah, it was a dominating performance, not losing a set by less than 10 points, or not winning a set by less than 10 points. The Knights just playing a dominating game, and obviously the big story right there was the service from the Knights. At the end of the day, they ended up with 20 service aces, which is just a ridiculous number. That's over 6 per set. And you had 2 players for the Knights with 6 service aces just on their own, with Canlin and Schaefer both with 6, and Carrillo adding in a 4 of his own. So the Knights, really that's the main takeaway. The Knights just took the service game and dominated it the whole way through.
And Southern Virginia looking to continue their dominance as they move away from home. Again, Friday, February 21st, the weekend of the 21st and 22nd. They'll drive all the way up to Harrisonburg, Virginia. They'll face off Trent University, then Randolph-Macon College makes their way down to Harrisonburg, and then hosting Royals of Eastern Mennonite. That's February 22nd, Saturday at 6 o'clock p.m.
Cheryl, we love you. You're awesome. Travel safe.
When Jimbo Brown asked me for my headset, I do it. I am bound by the laws of SVU here.
What you heard on the mic, that was senior for the Southern Virginia Knights, Jeremy Jimbo Brown, giving a shout out to Cheryl. Love to hear that.
Hope she travels safe.
Turn our attention away from the Knights for just 1 second. Talk about the Stevenson University Mustangs. After today's game, they'll face off against Roanoke College, then Randolph-Macon College, and then Marymount University. That's February 25th, Tuesday. Game slated for 6 o'clock p.m. Well, Mark, not much more to say on this one other than Southern Virginia wins in dominating fashion yet again.
Absolutely, and now they're 30-0 in their sets, 10-0 to start the season, really roaring, and basically their only competition they're looking for, the one that they have their target on, is NYU, and that's it. They're taking everything in stride, using everything as practice to focus on that main target, that main goal.
NYU is the goal. We'll see if that matchup comes into fruition this year. Well, that'll do it for us here at Southern Virginia University. For all people here at SVU, the SVU broadcasting team, for CC Band's Mark Duffin, I'm Chris Fly saying so long from Buena Vista, and thanks for joining us.